The glass slipped from my fingers, shattering against the floor. The hall erupted, not with warmth but with mockery. My son-in-law Ethan grinned across the room, his words slicing through the laughter. "Careful, old man. Maybe stick to pouring drinks instead of spilling them." The crowd roared, entertained by his cruelty. My daughter Lily, a silent witness, didn't look at me. That's when it hit me, not that I'd lost her to marriage but to humiliation. The hall sparkled with chandeliers and laughter, celebrating Ethan's 35th birthday. A man of wealth, vanity, and ego, standing proudly beside my daughter in a shimmering silver gown. She looked every bit the prize he wanted her to be. I wore my best jacket, freshly pressed, carrying a small gift, a photograph of Lily on my shoulders at the fair, her joy brighter than sunlight. But when I arrived, Lily pulled me aside. "Dad," she whispered, nervous, "please don't embarrass me tonight. Ethan's colleagues are here. Just try to fit in." Her words stung deeper than she imagined. I nodded quietly. "Of course, sweetheart. I'll behave." The party buzzed with music and chatter, soft jazz floating above the clink of glasses. Waiters glided past, serving sparkling drinks, their trays heavy with elegance and pride. I lingered in a corner, unnoticed, watching my daughter drift further from me. Then Ethan spotted me. "Everyone," he announced into the microphone, grinning. "This is Lily's father, Mr. Robert Hale. The man who gave me such a wonderful wife." Polite applause followed. Then came the jab. "So, Robert, what did you do again? Something with your hands? Construction?" "I was a civil engineer," I answered calmly. "Civil engineer," he sneered. "Basically construction, but with a fancier title." Laughter echoed. My daughter's smile faltered as she stared at her glass. Later, a waiter stumbled, spilling a drink near the buffet. Before anyone could react, Ethan snapped. "Someone clean that up." Then, smirking, he added, "Dad, don't mind helping, right?" The crowd chuckled. I looked at Lily. She stayed frozen, silent. I stepped forward, kneeling to wipe the spill, not because I had to, but to show her what true dignity looks like. Time came for the cake. A towering three-tiered masterpiece rolled into the room. Cameras flashed. Ethan gestured toward me. "Dad, why don't you do the honors?" I pushed the cart forward slowly, steady and composed. But instead of handing him the knife, I raised my voice, quiet yet firm. "Before we cut the cake, may I say a few words?" Ethan smirked. "Go ahead, old man. Make it quick. Some of us are thirsty." The music faded. I spoke, my voice calm but resolute. "You all see a successful, proud man tonight. I see the young man my daughter married. But I also see a daughter I raised alone after her mother passed. A daughter whose worth should never be measured by wealth or ego. And I see two people who have everything, except humility." The laughter died. All eyes turned to me. "When my wife was sick, I sold the company I built to cover her medical bills. I spent 30 years designing bridges and roads so Lily could carve her own path, one of love, not arrogance. And when she married this man," I gestured to Ethan, "I gave her a home, a house I built with my own hands." I reached into my jacket and pulled out a white envelope. "This," I said, holding it high, "is the deed to the home you both live in." Murmurs rippled through the hall. Ethan's confident smirk faltered. "What are you saying?" he asked. "The house is still mine," I said softly. I had intended to transfer it tonight, but after seeing how easily pride eclipsed gratitude, I tore the envelope in half. Gasps filled the room. "Dad!" Lily cried, trembling. I turned to her. "Respect isn't humiliation, Lily. Slough. And if you've forgotten that, maybe it's time life reminds you." I placed the torn pieces on the table and handed back the microphone, walking toward the exit. Whispers followed me, some applause quiet, some eyes recording. Outside, the night was cold and clear. I breathed deeply, the weight lifting from my chest. Freedom always felt like this, light, honest, real. Then hurried footsteps approached. "Dad, wait." Lily's heels clicked on the marble as she ran to me, tears streaming. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I forgot what matters. I was so caught up in appearances." I held her gently. It's easy to lose yourself when you measure worth by status. But the people worth impressing are those who loved you before you had anything to prove. She hugged me tightly. "Can we start over?" "Always," I whispered, resting my hand on her head. Later, as the city lights shimmered like stars on wet streets, I thought of my late wife. "You'd be proud of her, Martha," I murmured. Lily remembered who she truly is. Sometimes the harshest lessons aren't taught in classrooms. They're learned in quiet moments, after laughter fades, when love speaks louder than pride. Money, titles, and power can build walls, but only respect builds a home.